you would have heard or seen these.
那个 silicone 没有粘卡钡的嘞，有洞的嘞。
Horror stories of home renovations gone wrong. I've been through 2 home renovations myself. While some hiccups are to be expected in any renovation journey, some homeowners had more than what they bargained for. In this episode, I want to find out, why are people always facing renovation issues? And if you are in the midst of a home renovation or starting one, I'm going to reveal if we can avoid a home renovation nightmare. I'm starting my investigation at this 3-story landed property.
Hello, Diana, come into my house.
Wow, thanks for having us.
Okay, Diana, so this is my living room.
Okay.
My original ID actually committed to me that he can finish the renovation within 4 months.
But it's been 9 months since renovation began, and this is still how Darius's home looks like. Only 75% of the work is done.
This is where we are sleeping right now.
The 3 of you sleep in this bedroom?
Yeah.
Wow,
Yeah.
okay. Darius's renovation would involve mainly carpentry, flooring, and lighting works. So he decided to move in even before renovation began in February, unprepared that the renovations would be delayed. And I soon find out that the delays are just the tip of the iceberg.
Let me show you, it's right at the top.
I see your face.
Let's go. Okay, so the biggest pain point that I have is this frame, right? This open area, the frame here, where it's supposed to have a double glazed sliding door, right? They're supposed to close up this entire room from the air condition and the noise and the sound and everything. But what happened is that I did tell my ID that this place has to be safe because this is very close to the edge. I have a little girl, I have a dog. But when the product, the goods got delivered, it came with a very wide, staggering exposed tract right at the edge of this ledge, which is totally unsafe. My daughter could not move, could not climb up. So just imagine that the ledge is up to this line, yeah? And if I need to do a transition from the top to the stairs below, I have to stretch across and downward. So that's the steepness of it.
So there was actually a safety issue, especially where your 4.5-year-old was concerned.
Correct.
Okay.
Yeah.
Did she ever tumble down the stairs because of that?
No, we only tried once, and she had difficulty getting in and out. And then after which I told my ID to remove it right away.
Okay.
Yeah.
So my question is, what was promised before the works were started?
The specifics was given to the ID, right? That it has to be recessed, it has to be safe. It should be nothing sharp protruding out from
So
the
that
edge.
was stated up front.
Correct. The day itself when it was delivered, it was fixed up. And I came up to check, and true enough, the track was exposed.
What was your reaction the very first time you laid your eyes
I
on
went
that?
berserk. I just went berserk. Called my ID, I messaged him, he did not respond back to me. And then, I just told the contractor, I said, strip everything and bring it back.
Why were you so upset?
It was not the first time the ID did not listen to what I wanted, right? He simply just went ahead and do all the stuff that I explicitly told him not to do. Aside from this, there are also poor workmanship.
Poor workmanship can be quite subjective.
Let me show you. So I'm going to close the door and you be a judge for yourself.
Okay, this is the toilet, huh?
Yeah, and I'm going to lock it.
Huh? But I can see right through.
Yeah, that's locked. That's what they say is locked.
Oh man, this is the door shut already?
Yeah, it's shut, it's locked.
Okay.
Yeah.
Wow. Okay. I think most people will find that this is not really acceptable. And there were more minor defects around the house. On hindsight, what do you think was the problem?
I guess the problem is really overcommitting and overselling. That's really the first piece. The second piece is really around the fact that his execution is really, really bad.
How much money did you lose?
before I actually terminated this ID. And then I actually contracted a new ID, with the new ID coming in, the pricing was perhaps about 10,000 over, more than what I initially budgeted.
Money aside,
Yeah.
how did the whole renovation project impact you?
Oh, it impacted me. I lost almost like 7 kilos, right? Right from the beginning of the renovation, we started in February. Pretty much chasing after the ID, being the project manager itself, which I actually engaged the ID to do it for me. Yeah, I have a day job, I have a family to run, at the same time I have the renovation to run. So basically I have like 3 jobs.
Darius's woes could also have been exacerbated by some of the issues caused by the pandemic. Acute labour shortage, sharp climb in material costs, and sudden firm closures had already severely hit project timelines, budgets, and bottom line. But even before COVID-19 hit our shores, there were already complaints about delays and unsatisfactory workmanship. These have been the persistent top 2 complaints against the renovation industry, which receives an average of 1,300 complaints a year. It looks like the nature of renovation issues hasn't changed. So why have the problems persisted? To grasp the issues, we first need to understand the renovation ecosystem. Depending on your budget and work scope, you could hire an architect who will only charge you a design fee. This is usually the most expensive option and more often used for alteration works to landed properties. Or you could hire an interior designer who will design your home's interior and work with contractors to project manage your entire renovation. This is probably the most common option. Finally, you could hire a renovation contractor who will work with other subcontractors to execute your plan. This is usually the most cost-effective option. Sounds simple enough, right? But I'm about to find out homeowners could be getting more than they bargained for when choosing a professional to do up their home.
I've seen masseurs, I've seen salesmen, and seen many other professions who just leap into the interior design profession all of a sudden.
For the last 2 decades, delays and unsatisfactory workmanship have been the top 2 complaints of the home renovation industry. This industry is notorious for its reputation. I want to hear their side of the story, so I've arranged to meet with 2 industry veterans. Kiet Ong is a trained interior designer, and Sky Tan, a contractor with over 20 years' experience. They both perform pivotal roles in the home renovation ecosystem. Why does this industry keep receiving so many complaints?
Low barrier of entry, so easily anyone can go into this industry to start a business overnight.
Why are people suddenly starting construction or IT firms?
The trade can be quite lucrative if you know how to manage it. And of course, there are market for it, especially for the residential sector. In Singapore, to start a company, especially to put yourself as interior design services, is not difficult. That is something that we have been trying to resolve at our level as well. We have seen masseurs, we have seen salesmen, we have seen even taxi driver, lawyers, pharmacies coming into interior design profession as a midlife change, but everyone, regardless of the age, you have to go through a certain level of training before you can call yourself one.
Renovation contractors need an HDB license, and the criteria are quite stringent, isn't it? You have to have 3 years of experience, your company must be registered with Accra for a year, you must have had some form of training as well. Isn't that a barrier to entry by itself?
Actually, for those without a license, right, you can't renovate a HDB flat. In fact, there's grey area. Firstly, now there's a lot of BTO flats, so not all renovation items you need to apply for renovation permit, HDB renovation permits.
Give me an example of that.
For example, okay, you see, I can do up a BTO flat, do all the tilings, that means flooring job, okay, ceiling work, painting, carpentry, electrician, lighting. Let's say I don't do any structure change, don't demolish any walls, right? I don't need to apply for any permit. Whoever also can do it. For resale, normally there's loopholes also. Let's say I don't have a renovation license, right? I will get those experienced firms to help me to apply for the renovation permit to do up the house. This is one of the very common practice in the industry.
Why would the licensed contractor want to help the other contractor?
Most of them are inactive. That means they just remain the license to get service fee for these newcomers, right? New firms.
So are unlicensed HDB renovation contractors responsible for the problems we've seen?
I think that's just one part of the problem. It's never a one-man show. There are at least 2 to 3 groups of people you should be looking at, and each are performing a different task altogether. Firstly, we are looking at the interior design consultant. These are the ones that will give you the creative idea. And then after that, the customers are price sensitive. That's why there are companies that skim down on the number of personnel that are supposed to be dealing with a proper job.
How can you fix these problems?
Starting from last year, Society of Interior Designers Singapore started the Interior Design Accreditation Scheme, and the Renovation Contractors and Material Suppliers Association started the Renovation Practitioner Certification courses. Both are trying to tackle the issue from the root of the problem itself.
How will accreditation help?
Okay, accreditation actually looks at the individual proficiency in whether they can or cannot perform a job that they are tasked to do. And in fact, for interior design consultant, there is a whole area of proficiency that we are looking at.
We are target for individual and not the firm. Many of the firms are doing very well, but the individual, they are not competent, they are not trained in running the project. So with more accreditations, I think it will reduce a lot of problems like unscrupulous contractors, they unreasonable mark up the price, and also swapping of materials.
Material swapping is another complaint leveled against the industry. And unlike delays, markups and shoddy workmanship, it may not be as apparent to homeowners like us. Unfortunately, the accreditation scheme isn't mandatory, which means we might need to take matters into our own hands.
Can you tell the difference between these 2 pieces of parquet?
How? As a former interior designer, Diana Layao is very familiar with drawing up home renovation quotations. She set up a test for me today.
Okay, I'm going to show you a page of a quotation, and I want you to look at it and pick out something that could be potentially a problem.
Basement. Okay, let's take a look at this part. First story. It says supply label, tools and transport to hack off, dismantle, living. It's very descriptive. I'm supposed to assume that it covers everything that I have.
Okay, although there's a lot of description, but if you notice that there are several items that's covered within this quotation for this item, but you do not know exactly how much you're paying for each of these items.
Ah, I see. Okay, what you're saying is that this $18,200 seems to include first story, living room optional, dining, dry kitchen.
Exactly. Now this is important because it allows you, in the event if you want to remove an item or you want to do another item of the same thing, then you would know how much to add or subtract from this 18.
Based on what you say, would I be correct to say that the more itemized my quotation is, the easier it will be for me to drop certain items if I do not have the budget?
That's right. Okay, let's go to the last page here, and I take a look at the conditions and tell me what you observe.
Okay, so I'm looking at conditions of sale. Payment terms shall be as follows. Non-refundable deposit of 15% on purchase price is payable by buyer on confirmation of the order. Further to first progressive work, second progressive work, balance. Okay, there seems to be a kind of payment schedule here, but there are no landmarks. There is no timetable to it.
That's right.
Yeah.
So what does first progressive work mean, second and third? So in this contract, it must be coupled with a work schedule and with key milestones. And this description here does not point to any milestones.
Okay.
So if you look at this one, the terms and condition, what could be also a potential problem?
10% of contract sum upon signing and confirmation, 50% of contract sum upon commencement of work. Okay, I have a problem with that. I have to pay upfront 50% of what I owe you when you start work.
Exactly. Like you said, at the point of commencement of work, you will have paid a total of 60%. And by the time they commence carpentry works at the factory, you will have paid up to 95%.
That is crazy.
That is crazy because the job site will still be empty. There will be nothing on the job site, no cabinetry, no kitchen cabinets, no wardrobes, but you would have paid up to 95%. What else bothers you?
Okay, the fact that it says supply labor and also tools, transport, and then there's a lot of material, but I mean, material come in different grades. So exactly what am I getting?
Exactly what kind of material is a key area of content very often. So that will have to come together with the quotation must come together with your material board and specification. So the description should be as detailed as possible. What brand of material, what brand of tiles, where is it from, how much for per square foot for the tile. Okay. That will basically lock the price down.
When it comes to construction materials, there are many different variations and qualities. And as I'm about to find out, sometimes it's hard to spot the difference. Okay, Russell, what have you got here?
So Diana, can you tell the difference between these two pieces of parquet?
Wait, I wear my glasses first. Okay, I'm very serious about
Take a
this.
bet. Yeah, sure.
Difference, You mean difference in terms of quality?
Difference in terms of quality. Can you see the difference if I'm going to make a switch?
Oh dear, I'm getting different like vibes from these two. Where is the sound coming from? My bet is that this is the real thing and this is inferior.
Yeah, it's not really inferior, but it's
Okay.
of a better quality.
Educate me, let's do
Yeah,
that. What is
more
the
aware.
difference?
Yeah. So one, this is from Indonesian. We name it as Indoteak. This is from Myanmar, right? Burmese teak, all right? So the premium one will probably from the Burmese teak because they are all matured trees. It's wider in dimension, and then of course more oil content, all right? So in terms of price difference, it's about 10 to 15% difference,
Okay.
right?
So at the end of the day, whether it's Burmese teak or teak from another country, the whole point is that I want to get what I paid for.
Yes.
So if I'm paying for this, I mean, I want to get that.
Yeah.
Wow. Okay, that's quite a revelation for me.
Okay, Diana, there's 2 cans of paint. I want to let you try to see the difference after I pour it. Please look away. Okay, Diana,
Okay.
we're done.
Oh goodness. What am I supposed to do? Tell the difference between
Can
the
you
two?
see the difference between the two?
Oh goodness. I move it around.
You can try to
Oh.
paint it.
Okay, I'm going to say that this one is the more expensive one, and then this one is the cheaper one.
A matter of fact, you got it reversed, right? So this one will be a basic item. The first one is nearer to you is a Vinex 5000. The other one is orderless all in one. All right. So based on naked eye, if you didn't paint it on the wall, it's hardly any chance that someone can see the difference.
Oh.
Yeah. But of course, there's a premium price difference in it. And road contractors may come into opportunity to increase their profit, and then while you pay in the quotation, we repay for the premium, yet they are giving you the basic items.
And how would I be able to tell the difference if I were a homeowner?
A suggestion may be when the painters are going to paint, can take a video and take a photo whether did they extract that from the original paint can. So Diana, renovation involves of a lot of carpentry hardware, all right? So when it comes to hardware, one of the items will be hinges, all right? Just tell me the difference.
Ayo, they are the same brand,
hinges.
no?
Yep.
Even if I knew my brands, I wouldn't be able to tell. I think I go by the weight. When it comes to hardware, I go by the weight. So I think this is the real McCoy.
Let me see. You're correct. This is an imitation, and it's very real. It's already infiltrated into our market 5 years ago.
It's plain dishonesty. How common is this?
I would not know how common it is, but of course you have to be cautious. You have to be cautious and to compare a few quotations.
Wow, that was quite an eye-opener. But truth be told, if the swaps had happened in my home, I would not have known any better. So, to navigate this renovation minefield, I should ask for a more transparent and detailed quotation and pay closer attention to materials used in my home during the renovation process. Homeowners always start off with a dream of creating that perfect living space. Some might see it turn into a nightmare of shoddy workmanship, inflated costs, and endless delays. Well, it doesn't seem like things will change in the renovation industry anytime soon. But I've picked up a few tips on how to better spot red flags during a renovation journey, one that I hope I won't be embarking on anytime soon.